Are you a project manager or a department head that uses outside suppliers, maybe for software, services, or hardware? If so, are you using governance models? If not, why? Maybe because you think they're complex and hard to manage. I'm here to tell you they're not, and I'm going to show you how to use one and talk about the benefits. Coming up next on Project Skills Mentor. Hi, I'm Liz, the Project Skills Mentor, and my job is to make you better at your job, whatever it is. So let's talk about supplier governance models. Why would you use one, and what are they? Supplier governance model simply sets expectations between both parties to make sure you both understand what's expected and what's required to deliver to the contract. Next, you're going to want to create a long-term and trusting relationship, and this can help manage that. And the third point is, if there are problems or you begin to see that there could be problems, you can manage an improvement plan. All of that is in a one-page document I've created for you to use, and I'm going to take you through. This governance model essentially covers all the key points, and it can be a multi-page PowerPoint slide, or it can be one A4. The point is that you share a couple of key things about yourself, you have a scorecard for your supplier, and you have all the details from the supplier about how they work, what you can expect from them, and how they're going to work in the future to improve any issues. First of all, let me ask you, do you have a supplier contract? If you don't, talk to legal or ask your supplier for a terms and conditions document. And if you have one already in place, make sure you read it. And one of the tricks I take is to make a side document that summarizes the key points. You're not going to care about everything in the contract, but there are some key things. You're going to want to know what services are they delivering, for what price, how will they bill, what are the service levels, and how will the account be managed in general. And if you have the chance to be involved in a new contract, do so. It's probably going to be handled by legal and procurement together, but if your department lead or a project manager, step in, take part, and tell them what's important for you to have in that contract. Be clear about pricing and services. They're probably already going to work on that. But make sure account management, service level agreements, and the other things that are important to you are in there. So let's take a look at this governance model that's in place based on a contract I have with the supplier. It's a fictitious model, but it's there for inspiration for you. First, you're going to talk about your company. Go big picture, share the vision. Talk about what your company's actual mission is. Then bring it back into what services you expect for this supplier related to the project or department they're servicing. Next, set out expectations for what you expect from your suppliers. It's helpful if you make like suppliers have the same kinds of attributes related to requirements. This creates a sense of fairness among suppliers because it's important to have the same metric basis. So if you have suppliers for services, give them all at least 2 or 3 bullets where you're checking off the same attributes. And then if you have something unique about them, add 1 or 2 points. Next, you're going to want to confirm the single point of contact within your company. Now, one thing suppliers do like to do because they sell is come in from different angles. Talk to different members of your team, talk to different departments, discuss new sales opportunities with other countries even if you're a multinational. One of the things about managing governance is having single point of contact. It may not work in all situations, but if you're a standalone company, it's a reasonable ask that you say to your supplier, hey, don't go shop around yeses in my company. Talk to me, I am your contact. Make sure they know how to contact you and make sure you're reining them in if they are talking externally to other members of your company, staff, or departments. In the next section, you'll want to give the supplier a chance to add documentation to this governance model. And I would suggest you do this before the governance meeting so it can all be on one A4. And that essentially is asking them, what are you delivering? How is it going? And give yourself a score of 1 to 10, 1 to 5, whatever you like, but get their feedback first. Also ask them about any expected changes to their pricing, service levels, administration, or anything else. Maybe infrastructure is changing. Maybe their business strategy is changing. Maybe you need to know about that to plan ahead with how you're going to contract for the future. And also look for any new contracting opportunities. Maybe they're going into new areas you're interested in. So let them talk about their strategy as well. One of the best ways to influence supplier behavior is a scorecard. And I believe in this process, it works very, very well. Even if that supplier asks online in other means, for a customer satisfaction feedback survey, do this too. It puts you in the driver's seat as the buyer. So the first thing I talk about is pricing. Is their pricing market relevant? Are they in keeping with the other kind of suppliers for the services and quality of service they're delivering? Next, service options. In other words, do they have the breadth and depth of service options you need? And service quality. Do they do it well? And one of the things I do when I have a lot of like suppliers is I create scorecards all at once. So I can actually see, do I agree that company A is serving me better than company B and C? So I actually rank order them at the end of the day. Another aspect to the scorecard is comments. So if you've judged something in the scorecard, you can actually show the attribute, the data that backs up that score. That'll also help the supplier understand why you gave the score you gave. Now, if you gave a great score, you can also just say, great job, but comments that help are comments that are critiquing work, that are giving something constructive for them to work toward. And then if you have something constructive for them to work forward, make it explicit. The improvement plan is there for you to document what they should do better. And if you're documenting an improvement plan that relates to something the supplier needs to change, make sure you're also documenting something you may need to do differently as well, and connect the two so that we will pay on the 25th if you bill us by the 20th, that kind of thing. Work together to create a timeline for those improvements. Don't just say, we want more timely billing. You need to talk about how they're going to do it, when they're going to do it, and how you're going to follow up on the status of that improvement. So do that in your timeline plan. And after you've done all that, the last thing you want to do is go back up to the top of your governance model and agree. Document the agreement, who it was with, and the date. This will help you solidify the fact that this is a final document, one that is agreed to and the actions documented below are taken. This will give you the chance to create that long-lasting relationship, build trust, and make sure the job's done right, at the right price, in the right way. Supplier governance models. They're not hard, but they are powerful. I hope you'll use this example. If you want to see more, the link to my blog is below. You can download my inspiration document so you can work from something that I've already completed for you. And if you want to know more about procurement and contracting, check out this video. And if you found this video helpful, please give it a like. It really helps the channel, and consider subscribing. And I hope to see you next time on ProjectSkillsMentor.com. Bye-bye, everybody.